So we got a short-term breakout of the market at the moment. Short-term, as I would say, as we do have a lot of indicators we need to go through to go see. Okay, little response from the bulls now, starting to break short-term 4-hour trends. Does this change any views of what we've been thinking, that there's a possible level of Bitcoin hitting the $38,000 zone still, or is that it? We know there's been tons of bullish divergence. We know we had the 300-day, the 200 moving average on the 3-day chart, where we've been holding the support for quite a long time. And as long as we held that support, we know it's always been in a really good sort of market. And now we want to see, is this right? Should we be buying in more again? Should we be holding our positions? There's a few things we need to look at over the weekend. I don't think it's going to be a crazy big moved weekend. I think it's going to be a slow ground sort of weekend. But we never know that something could happen when a lot of the market starts to take some time off. And we know that the big moves like to happen when we're sleeping or when we're not there or when something's happening. And we got to get prepped for both. Are we still healthy? Are we still looking good, guys? Massive show today. I'm going to go through the majority of the alts that we've been going through as well the past few weeks as well. What's looking good? What's holding trend? What should we start getting rid of now and start moving into different assets? Big show. No more wasting time. Let's get into it.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, I hope you're having fantastic, what is today? Thursday. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. To anyone that's new to the channel, make sure you absolutely Will Smith the like button and Will Smith the subscribe button. It helps to get it out to everyone. We are a massive community, guys. We have been through many journeys together. I think I've been through 2 major bull cycles with you guys and 2 major bear cycles as well. And now we're like in the middle, if I could call it. We're in the middle of the high of 69,000 and the low of 30,000. A lot has happened in the last year. It's been an absolute amazing journey. I know it's been tough at times, and I know many have been flushed out the system. Many have remained. But wow, what a journey, guys. And, I promise you, a good road to a journey is worth a success. It sucks to have success and to get where you've always wanted to be. And it was a boring road. Like, it's a creative road. Crypto's new to the world. It's very creative. It's very different. It's really emotional. I'm sure you guys can feel it. Like, emotions are just like crazy with it. And the true passion of why I fell in love with TA and why I fell in love with crypto is it actually taught me so much about myself. Like, it taught me so much about myself, my strengths, my weaknesses. Like, it just it made me rethink a lot and rewire my brain. And that's why I'm absolutely in love with crypto. And I'm sure a lot of you can agree with it out there, that even though it's been a crazy journey and it's hard at times and it's good at times, it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And it's something that we're going to cherish and love for the rest of our lives. So guys, join our community. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Make sure you're following myself, Sheldon_Sniper. Make sure you're following Kyle. Make sure you're following the Banter team. Make sure you're on our website, as you get tons of free alpha there every single day. Make sure you're also following our Crypto Shorts channel, where we have lots of short video alpha there every day, charts of the day, a lot of great alpha on there as well. So make sure you're using all the tools that we can provide with you guys so we can help you throughout this journey. But we're here and we're going to kick ass and we're going to do it, guys. So let's jump in. No more wasting any more time. Let's have a look on what we're starting to see. So, yesterday we sort of spoke that, Bitcoin came down. It came down, it broke the 40K zone. It went down to 39K zone. We can still see, obviously, holding the 3-day. We went through that yesterday. I want to see if it's still over here for you guys. Let's see if I can get it up. 3-day. There we go, 3-day, and let's get up our 200-day moving average. There we go. We could see how we still hug in the very important long-term high view sort of line that we've always wanted to be holding. The last two times we did get to the zone, though, we did have a quick wick that went down. So we know the possibilities that there's still a 38K Bitcoin in play. How will we sort of know that we will still get there is we have to sort of track it a little bit more shorter time frame at this point. We've got to be looking at the 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour sort of views to see, are we starting to break? Because, you know, as far as we're going here, like I still see higher lows. I still see Bitcoin trending up. I still see it, you know, even though it's slowly grinding up, the range definitely got bigger, which means the percentages to the up and the downside are getting a lot bigger. But we're still in an uptrend. Bitcoin still, you know, we must still not deny that it was $4,000 or $5,000 2 years ago. Like, you know, we still got to understand we have $41,000 now. Like, big ups to crypto. It is moving and it is doing something. And we just got to now be patient and understand when do we take advantage and what we're doing. So, you know, my sort of views within, you know, right now we're obviously breaking 4-hour trend. Bulls are starting to now sort of, you know, get into play. The only thing is you are going to get bull traps now because we added the critical level again. So we do want to sort of see us, you know, range in the region of 39 or 38,000 to the $42,000 zone. I think that is the new range for Bitcoin on the short-term view. Short-term view, I'm talking about throughout this weekend, maybe possibly early next week. I don't think we're going to make much lower than 38 in the region. I still feel that with the day RSI getting to the bottom, we're waiting for the 3-day RSI to get to the bottom, which should be bottomed out by around about Sunday. And then we're going to have the bulls response. You know, it's never going to be just one team that's always winning. We're always going to have a sort of response. And as long as we hold certain levels, like, you know, then we will see next. Now, where do the bulls get next? Do we break that 48K? I think that is a very, very, doesn't matter if it's 38 now or 40,000 was the bottom in the zone. Do we break the next zone of 48K? That's the important zone. That's a very, very important one. And I think we're still going to attempt that without the next 2 weeks. We still have dominance really far down to the downward side, very much still showing downside. So we know the alts are going to try again. We know ETH is showing tremendous amount of strength as well. Let's make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see. You know, but, you know, end of the day, dominance is at that point where, you know, we're at a zone where we can go back to the low 40%. So it's definitely in favor right now are still of the altcoins. And as far as I've been in this journey and what I've been doing through these times, as long as we had the altcoin showing strength, it was never a big, you know, warning sign within the market. The fact that the alts are still holding strong like this, you know, it's still indicating a good thing that this can be a temporary market cool down. You know, you do get these cool downs. They do happen quite often. And like I spoke about yesterday, how we have the massive bearish divergence on the USDT dominance chart. We hit the top there, which was resistance. We do have one more resistance. And this is still my level of me thinking that Bitcoin possibly to the 38,000 or the 39,000 before we get to the higher sort of targets next or go chase that $48,000 zone first. I do think temporarily, I think it's a green weekend. I think these are still my two views that I pointed out for you guys yesterday, and I'm sort of sticking with them right now. And right now, it looks like the yellow one is in play. As you know, this was a leg down. We did start to lose a bit of momentum, but from here, you know, we're getting a response. We didn't get that big capitulation candle that I was talking about, that really long tail volume candle, and that's why I thought like this, in my opinion, I think they're setting up a short-term bull trap. Where they're starting to send now, we're starting to break 4 hours sort of thing, but we don't have volume back in this right now. We don't really have full momentum on this. And for me, it's basically looking at something like this, where we rally our way up to 42, 43 over the weekend. Then we have the next push down. Maybe Bitcoin makes the higher low. At least I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday and we'll be on it again and we'll see where we're at then. But either Bitcoin's going to make a slightly lower low on the next little leg down, or it's going to make the higher low. And from that, I'm still looking at the region of going back to go test this major high that we made on the $48,000 zone. So for me, it's no panic out now. If you don't get stopped out, so you didn't get any of these things, I wouldn't be panicking out now. If you're looking to obviously buy and add more within, a little bit more patience, in my opinion. I think short-term traders should be enjoying this right now. I think short-term traders should definitely be interested because there's tons of short-term trades. The range has gotten bigger. So if you're looking for 10, 15% to the upward side, I think there's a few of them that will run over the weekend, which I'll get over shortly. But I think as an investor, I think, we might get a little bit more sweeter entries on some of them, definitely. So for now, it looks definitely like my yellow line's in play. And this is one that I'm sort of sticking with. If we don't get to the 42, 43, like end of the day, I would like to get to the 39K ASAP, in my opinion. If it's from now to 39K, the blue's in play. And from that, I'm seeing a good response. Or we go to 42, come back down to the 39, 38K zone, and then shoot off. I just want to get this out because I feel like, this is our momentum line and we haven't tested it. We're like in the middle of the last momentum line and the next momentum line. And for me, it feels like, we want to come and test the momentum line. If we're going to reverse and we're going to come down and test support, we got to test it properly, because that gives me the sweet entries and exactly where I want to be getting in. Because for me, this is the line, guys. Like, this is the line from the low of 33 to the next one of 34. Like, this is the line this is the line that there's bull season and Bitcoin's going to show strength this year. Like, this is the line to hold, and this is the line I want to be buying and loading up on. So this is what I'm still looking at on Bitcoin sort of view. The reason why I was saying a short-term sort of fake out, if I can call it, a bull trap. So this is where, a lot of people are thinking, should I FOMO back in? Like, what's at the bottom? Like, if we have a look now, we are breaking 4-hour trend, but I need you guys to also, we have the stochastic RSI. That RSI is for us. It's a very simple mechanism for us to know when to shortly deploy in and out. It's very simple. But then you got the normal RSI, which will give you the hints behind it as well to see how strong is the momentum or what we're looking at that specific area. So now, what do we have? And I'll be teaching you guys about bullish divergence and bearish divergence without the week. But if I jump to the 4-hour now and I look, okay, we've just broken trend. Bulls are showing a bit of strength now, which is great. But then I look at the RSI and I'm like, okay, so RSI is starting to make a higher high. It's breaking up, it's getting to the upward side. And there's my high. This is where Bitcoin is now. So you're going to always use this indicator. Remember, you always want the RSI to match what's happening on the chart. So now the fact that we're getting a higher high and it's showing that the market's starting to, buy in and starting to get higher bought sort of momentum, if you can call it, you always want the chart to be matching that. And if I look at this, like I can see a higher high here, and like, wow, there's a very big difference when it comes to the highs on the actual chart. And this will always help you guys a lot when it comes to fake outs, or these sort of things, or bull traps. Guys speak about bull traps quite often. This is what you need to sort of look at, just so that you can always make sure on that, because we did drop the momentum line. We didn't test the 38 just yet. So to FOMO in just yet, like, just be a bit cautious with it and jump in, because maybe the 39 was the low of the thing. And these are little tools that are going to help you. So for now, I'm seeing bearish divergence on the 4-hour. I'm seeing that we're trailing up. We're getting up to certain zones, but the price is not getting up quick enough than what we need it to be. We actually needed Bitcoin for this RSI to be healthy. We needed Bitcoin to be sitting at 43,600 now. That's what we needed. We needed this to be a strong sort of bounce. So for me, it's still sticking with my option of Bitcoin from here. I do think, this is a break of trend and test. We can't say that this was the high just yet, and from here we're going down to that zone, because we have broken trend. And we know when we break trend, we come in, we test. But for me, I think it's going to come attempt this higher. And the only way you can ever break bearish divergence is if Bitcoin does all of a sudden break that 44 or something like that. Then the next retest we buy, we're not going to 38 anymore. It's very simple, in that sort of way. But for now, it's got legs to do, which means we didn't test this resistance here. We shot down, got rejected a little bit too early, in my opinion. So I'm looking at here a slow grind up into that $42,000, $43,000 zone. So now that's matching as well within my my daily sort of view of it. And as far as I can see, the bulls aren't strong yet. They're not strong at this level. We're not getting crazy amounts of buys just yet. But short time frame, I am looking at, short-term growth, a little bit of growth into the zone. I do know that dominance is looking weak at a sense. So for me, it's altcoins now that are rallying up to the next level. Now, one thing I do want to excite you guys about as well is if we go to, we were speaking about macro scale and really high time frame sort of views of things. And, guys, the DIXIE has been so strong. The DIXIE's been really at a strong level of where this thing's just been rallying and rallying and rallying. And we know for as long as the dollar is strong, we never get that really big raging market. And we were waiting, we spoke about it many times before of, we need this DIXIE to finally reject. We thought it did break out of a sort of pennant. This is obviously a lot higher. I'm using the closing here. If you guys are thinking why the wicks there, I'm using the closing on the monthlies. But, we were getting these little shoots. And what usually happens is we get really strong wicks here. And it's the same thing here. We're starting to get the DIXIE getting really strong. And I'm looking for that strong sort of wick. But guys, if we have a look here, I've just spoken about divergences to you guys. Like, look at the bearish divergence on the DIXIE. This is on a very high time frame scale. Remember, for us to have a raging stock market as well as a raging crypto market, we do need the DIXIE weak. We need it to be dropping quite fast. And that's why it's important to jump to really high time frame views, because the DIXIE's been on an uptrend since May last year. Does that not make sense? That the May crash was last year. So much happened in that time. The dollar, like, it's been really, really growing strong in that time. And we are waiting for the time that when do we get this leg? Because this leg was from the March crash in 2020 all the way to basically when I joined Banter. And in that time was that was a crazy time. I remember where Ethereum went from $90, all the way to $4,000 or something in that region. Like, that's what happened. That was this leg over here. And if you go to the last one, that was 2017. So when we had these two long streaks down, was the true bull seasons. It was the crazy bull seasons. And now we're at that point again where we're getting to the top here. I'm seeing bearish divergence. I'm seeing RSI's topped out. So if it may be April, if it may be May, but, like for the second half or for the next few months of this year, I'm thinking the DIXIE is really showing weakness. And I'm thinking we're going to get a really strong push down in DIX, in the dollar, which is always a great season. So if we want to say, there's a question mark, start a bull run, it can be happening at some point. It's something we need to sort of keep eyes on. And it's a really, really good sign. So I just want to encourage you guys there. You are in at the right time. It's going to be a battle right now, but you are in at the right, when it comes to phases and times, you're at a really good time where it is hard. But I promise you, if you get a run like this, it's crazy. It is crazy in what happens in that time. So that's just another good little indication. Before I jump onto the altcoins, I do want to bring the moon, man, because in 2 days' time, the moon goes full, and I want to see what you're thinking, brother. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
How's it going, bro? Yeah, it's good. And yourself?
Nice
to see you again.
I'm good.
Cool. So yeah, let's have a look. I'll share my screen.
Show me what you're thinking, brother, and then I'll jump into the altcoins.
I'll show you what I'm thinking. I don't have the moon one up right now, but I can.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just joking.
But I'm having a look at this. Essentially, I think a lot of people are looking at this chart at the moment. I know that you brought yours up as well, with the worst case scenario would be, well, this week to that week, and then price would come into the 36K region. But currently, with the most touch points, we have this zone over here. This is on the 3-day chart, so a little bit as well, more of a macro perspective. I see this is the key area to clear, which is, call it around 43,000 would be the first section to get above. So at the moment, I would love to see this area form as a higher low in comparison to these zones. And obviously we push up and we just continue on with the bull run. But what I'm really looking at is on a lower time frame for the first signal, and it would look something like this. So let's just move that there. So essentially this is what I'm seeing. I mean, it's just a series of lower highs and lower lows. So there's going to be your first low. You got another lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then this section over here, possibly a lower high. The soonest that I'll front run this position for a long is if we form a higher low here in relation to this section over here. So we form a higher low, maybe at about 40K. We break that next section over here, which would make your next higher high. Come back down, I would enter over here. That's the soonest that I'm willing to enter. Let me just get that off. All right, so over here, this would be the soonest that I would be willing to enter is in this section over here, which would be still lower than the current price level that we're at the moment. So I would definitely caution guys in terms of getting long. And there's another reason that I say that, and that's got to do with the leverage. So if you have a look over here, you'll notice this is on the Binance futures. I've had a look at different places that I can try and find accurate depictions of what's going on with the leverage. But if you compare to previously, I mean, this in this section over here, at about 60% of people long, 40% short. At the moment, we have 72% of people that are holding leverage long positions and only 27% that are in shorts. And I asked something on my Twitter as well. I'm not able to bring that up at the moment, but I basically asked the audience, are you guys mostly in leverage longs? Are you holding spot? Are you holding a cash position, or are you holding a leverage short position? There was only 4% of the people, and it's a small sample size, but if that is an indication of what the market is thinking, 4% are in a leverage short, and there were 55% in a long position holding cash, a spot long position, and there were 15% in a leverage long position, which means about 70% of my Twitter at least are currently long, and only 4% are short. So I don't really support the narrative right now of a short squeeze happening because I don't see it that there are that many shorts. We need to clear these important levels first. The way that I see it possibly playing out, best case scenario for longs would be something like this. So again, on the 4-hour chart, taking this section over here, so we got the whole series I just showed you over there. You come up probably straight into resistance. I would expect a rejection. This is the best case scenario. Rejection, form the next higher low over here, and then we can push through. So that's essentially what I'm looking at. That's my best case scenario.
Okay, and let's say now, obviously we have the next momentum line of the lower low. What's your possibilities on, Bitcoin goes to 38 now. To flush it out, everyone's longing right now. I don't see a push to 30 or 40K liquidating them. I don't see it because, I see it if they drop it a little bit, you know what I mean? Quick drop through.
Like an aggressive drop.
Yeah, then I see liquidations.
Something like that, like straight through to
no, that's too much.
Okay,
but in my opinion, too, 37, 38, somewhere there, then it makes sense that liquidations would start to happen because I kind of feel that the market's longing a lot of altcoins. Because of dominance, I feel leverage is high on altcoins. I feel it's really high on altcoins. And we know what a push from Bitcoin can do from 41K to 38,000. We know what that can do to altcoins. It could be a 10% drop in Bitcoin, but it can be a 25% drop in some altcoins. And that makes sense to me then, okay, liquidations. Because, if we got so much longs happening now in leverage, a higher low now is not going to shake it out, in my opinion. It's going to add more. I feel like they're going to make it even bigger. Because,
so that's the question. Exactly, that's the question. It doesn't mean that now is not a good time to go long for short term. So you really have to differentiate. Are you in it for the short term, mid-term, or you're a long-term investor? So I would say short-term plays, I'm looking for an opportunity to take a long. I'm hoping that this section over here will be the low and we can form a higher low, and then I'll immediately take a long off of that position. But we can see that the main momentum oscillators are busy turning down on the 4-hour. However, if you look at the daily, for example, everything is just starting to turn up, which is why I would like to see if we could just turn over slightly. So if I could see something like this and we could create that section there and then go up, great, I'll long right there. I'll long at that section over there into this resistance, and then maybe take a little bit of profits if there is a pullback. Otherwise, I'll get back above on that resistance. I'll enter more longs over there. I'll enter in parts. That's how I'm playing it currently. So I'm pretty much in cash at the moment, and I'm just waiting for a good opportunity.
Yeah, I agree, brother. So either we get the higher low or the lower low. It's showing that, on the next reset of RSIs, these are entry opportunities again. And that's where we should be loading up. I don't think anyone should be panicking out right now. I don't think the market's really in that sort of scary moment. And I don't think people should be aping in crazy right now. But let's have a look. So thank you, brother. So that's sort of what you're looking at.
It's essentially cautiously, optimistically bullish. That's basically the way that I think the market is playing it. I think guys want to be long.
When is full moon, brother? When is full moon? 16th.
The full moon is on the 16th. Where is my moon chart? Just give me a second.
And how long are those areas again? So I'm very interested because the market did turn quite down in that time.
Let me see if I can pull this up for you quick.
How long are they usually? Yeah, well, what does the astrology chart say? It's quite interesting, guys. We can't deny it. Like, it's the moon, but wow, it's let's see.
They usually last for, the cycle seems to go for about 15 days. So, I mean, this is real hopium. If we are looking at this, you do have the stochastic RSI that's just started to cross up on the daily. And it comes, it's like 2 days time. In 2 days time, if you look out your window, I looked last night, the moon was there. It's arrived. So I don't know how high this will take us. I would expect some sort of a push. That's why I say I'm really just trading this in the short term. I'm just looking for short-term moves until the whole trend is back up and we've cleared the main resistance areas again. So on a macro scale, the main areas that I was looking at to clear and resistance-wise was between this 43 to 46K. Once we peaked above that, I was hoping to see a couple of daily closes above, but we didn't get that. We deviated and came back down. So I saw that as something quite bearish. And now we need to see, will the bull moon push us back up like this? Will it push us into that 46K resistance and then reject off there, which would be incredibly bearish because now on the daily, you've also got another lower high. Or is it going to take us straight through, make a higher high, and then we can come back down and continue the run? I mean, I'm definitely hoping more for the bullish scenario, but I'm not sure. Time will tell. Have we lost Sheldon? Where is he? Let me try bring him back. All right, well, it looks like we've lost Sheldon. I guess in the meantime, I may as well cover another chart since I'm driving the stream at the moment. So this is something that I always bring up for the longer term investors, and it's the 21 EMA. Again, don't deny the power of the way these EMAs can work. These things are fantastic for an investor, for somebody that's holding their positions for months to years. You really want to be looking at something like this instead of going in blind. And essentially, it works on Ethereum as well. I had a look at it this morning, but anytime that you're above and it's angled upwards, it's bullish. If you have a look at this, so just keep that picture in mind over there, the way that we came up, we broke down below and it started to angle down, curve back up, we got above, broke back down, starts to angle the chart back down, the EMA down, and again, we deviate above and come below. So bear that in mind, and then let's have a look at what happened over here in 2018. So this would be a bad scenario. I'm really hoping that this is not what's happening, but I kind of see similarities between this area over here in 2018 and where we're at now. And I don't mean to get too bearish. That's why I'm just following the trend, and that's it. It's the only thing that you can do right now is just follow the trend on maybe a 4-hour or a daily. But if this is the scenario that we're in, then it could get quite bad. So it's something to be cognizant of. Just protect your capital. It's in a bull run, it's very easy to make a lot of money, but the hardest part is to keep that, right? So you really need to protect your wealth while you can, and using a tool like this is a very easy way to do that. All right, let's have a look at the other macro chart that I have. This one over here. So again, this is the Consensio chart, which works with the MAs. So you have the 3, the 9, and the 30 MA. And currently, when price is caught below those EMAs or those moving averages, and all of them are angled down, we're just getting the cross. All we need is now for the green to come below. You should be in a fully cash position. And this is taken on a 4-day chart. So that's essentially the picture until price again. If price has to start pushing up towards this zone over here and get through that resistance, this will bring all these moving averages back up, which is postured in a bullish kind of way like this. This is what you want to see. You want to see price above. You want the yellow above the green, above the purple. You want all of them crossing and turning back upwards, and that's going to hold you in positions for long periods of time. So anybody that's currently playing the market right now, I really recommend to take a more short-term stance until the market proves that it can clear this whole messed up area of resistance. There's another one over here at 52, 53K, but your main level that you want to clear at the moment is going to be this over here. This is your confirmed local top. So coming in at 47K, your confirmed local high is going to be that region. So don't get too bullish until you clear this zone over here. And I know that when I first started trading as well, something that I learned was, you're kind of like, well, then you keep buying higher. Isn't the aim to buy low and sell high? It is. That is the aim, but you can't fight the trend. If the trend is up on a macro scale, you're going to be in a much better position, right? You'll be able to protect your money. You don't want to lose that money. In crypto, things can turn south very, very quickly. So if you have a look at that on Ethereum, Ethereum has been holding a little bit better, but it's very close to following the same pattern, which also makes me wonder if this is similar to that 2017, 2018 region, because I know with Sheldon was showing as well what was going on with the Tether and how that's rejecting from those zones. That could mean a big inflow, and the Bitcoin dominance dropping, that could be a big inflow into altcoins, which would show why possibly things like Ethereum are showing relative strength. Let's have a look at some of the questions. I don't know if Sheldon's going to come back. Looks like there's no Wi-Fi. He's working at home today. He's what? Okay, his internet is down. Let's see. I'll look at the comments. I'll maybe take one or two. If he's not on yet, then I guess we'll just have to end the stream from there. Sheldon, are you back? Not yet. Okay, I'm just waiting. Guys, if you have anything in the comments, let me know. I'll take maybe one or two charts and I'll do a quick short-term view on them. POKT. Okay, let's have a look. Let me just get my main charts back though. Cool. Okay, POKTs. Which is the best one to go to? Huobi, probably. Okay, looking at POKT, I mean, again, if you look on a daily, so I always recommend to guys not to make this kind of mistake by taking a chart that's in a pure downtrend. It's literally been in a downtrend. I don't know how old this is. It's the history on this chart only goes back to January, so maybe it's a relatively new coin. So it's difficult to trade charts that don't have enough history, but let's go into 4 hour and see if there's anything of interest there. Okay, it's going to be very similar, right? Very similar to anything else. It's currently caught in a downtrend, so you have this zone over here. Just move that. I mean, it's in a straight downtrend. If you clear this level here, then maybe you can start looking for bullish entries, but I really encourage you to always look for higher highs and higher lows. It doesn't matter if you get in a little bit later, but rather be safer. So something like this, you clear that area, come back down. Now at least you've got your low, you got your next high over there, you got your higher low, and then you could enter on that, for example, clear that level, and then you've confirmed the break. So that's one there. And let's look at, okay, I've seen a lot of requests on KDA. So I'll pull up a KDA chart and then we can just end off with that. KDA, USD. Okay, let's go on KuCoin. KuCoin usually lists them quite early, so hopefully we have some good history there. Okay, there is some good history. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, I know this has been one of the charts that have performed relatively decently in the past. I know earlier in the cycle when Bitcoin got to 60-ish K, this was one of the coins that was absolutely pumping. So having a look at this one, I would say you're pretty much right on a main support area. You really want to hold this level. Anything below this and it could get quite ugly. So risk to reward is not too bad. Let's see where we'll be going next. If you lose that level, it's coming down. Again, this is just pure TA, guys. So don't get angry with me because there are big drops. If you start losing these zones, you have to, there you go. Okay, let's go on the daily. All right. So you've lost this level as well. So you've created lower lows and you've created marginally lower highs in relation to this area over here. So again, this is most likely just going to be a bounce. Let's look at it on the 4 hour. It's going to be similar to the rest of the market. Okay, over here, you got your death cross, which has just taken place. So that area over there. And again, the EMAs are powerful, guys. This is the 50, 200, and the 21 EMA, yellow 21. So governing that move over there. Trend is your friend. Just try to stick with the trend. You really want to be getting back above this area over here. If you're trading KDA, this is going to be your main zone to clear, which is over here. Once you clear that level like this, something like that, you can talk about making your next higher high and then find the next low low wherever that may come in, and basically that's your new trend. All right, guys, I think that's about it for today. So make sure that you like and subscribe, follow all of us on Twitter. Our links are in the description below. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next one. Trade well.